Hello, how are you? Welcome back to a new video here in the Trading for Everyone channel, where I'm going to talk about how to create an account step by step in the TD Ameritrade broker. If you don't know, TD Ameritrade is one of the biggest brokers in the US, and you can create an account from anywhere overseas. So we are going to explain this step by step. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you didn't already did it. And at first we are going to explain what is TD Ameritrade and which are the best features that this broker gives you. In comparison with another type of brokers, this is fully regulated in the US, so in case that TD Ameritrade close, you are protected up to $250,000. Take that in mind that in comparison with another brokers, you are fully protected, even if you have cash invested or without investment in the broker. What this broker gives to you, they give you to you one of the most recognized platform that is called Think or Swim. If you want to have a step-by-step tutorial about Think or Swim, please leave a comment. What else? You have the education part. You have the part of pricing and fees and commissions. We are going to talk about that in a second. And in here we also have the frequent questions, so please look at the link in the description, because here maybe you will have the answer to your question. What is the minimum account? This is a common question, and you don't really have a minimum, so you can start from like $100. But if you want a margin account, you will need 2,000 deposit to start with TD Ameritrade. And another thing you have to take into account that if you have money in the account but it's not invested, you are all going to receive interest in your account because the money is saved in different banks. But in reality, nowadays the interest rates in the US and all around the world is practically zero. So you're basically going to win only a few cents. So how to create an account step by step? You have to go to this button that says open new account. This gives you to this slide, and you're going to select individual. There are different type of accounts. Please read if you need another type of account, but most of the people will fall in this type of account. So select here in individual, and then you are going to go on with this slide in which you have to complete all your personal information, your name, your surname, where are you living, your country, where is your address, your city, your state, your zip code. And remember to tick this box if you are not living in the US, because you have to put your number here and select that because you are not living in the US. So taking that into account. Then in the second part, you are going to select different type of information, for example, where you have born, then if you are a US citizen or not, that this is important, or if you have a green card, if you have the permit to live in the US, please select what is correct for you. And if you have any type of visa, for example, tourist visa, you have to understand which type of visa do you have. If you already have a granted visa, you are going to look at your passport, and in there you are going to understand which is the code of the visa. So please look at your passport and select what is the one that fits to you, and put the visa number, where it's going to expire. And if you have another citizenship, this is the citizenship for your country. But if for some people have more than one citizenship, for example, if you have an European citizenship and you are from India, so you can select both of them. This is for most of the people that live outside the US, this is going to be blank, because if you are not living in the US, you are not going to have a social security number. And the same is for this foreign tax ID, is going to be blank. For employment status, for most of the people is going to be employed or self-employed, but select what is the best that fits you, and we're going to talk about this in the next slide. Regarding to the type of account that you want, maybe you have to think which are the type of trades that you are going to do. For example, if you are more like a active trader, you should select the second one, trade futures, forex, in addition to stocks, options, ETF, bonds, and mutual funds. If you are a more like long-term investor, you can select the first one. Talking about in detail about the type of employment, if you select employed or self-employed, these are the fields that you have to complete. For example, which is the name of the company you're working for, which is the type of occupation. For example, you are engineer or whatever you are. Industry, for example, pharmaceutical or petrol company. where it's located, the country you are working at, and the address. Maybe if you are a self-employed, you can put your own address, the city, the state, and the zip code. So going forward, these are some type of financial questions that the broker asks to you. This is not, you don't have to be afraid of this. This is required to define which type of investor you are and which of profile do you have. So you have to select the annual income, approximately what is the net worth, how much money do you have, and how much money liquid. Liquid is, for example, cash or something similar to cash. So what do you have available to invest, for example, or to use for general purpose? The source of funding, most of people select savings, but you have to read all the options that you can select for, and do you choose whatever fits you. And in the second one, which are the source of funds for ongoing deposits, this is, for example, you can select investing. If you want to do withdrawals in the future, you can select there the reason why you are doing that. Affiliation, most of people select no and no in both of them, but read carefully. For example, if you work for a broker in the US, or if you are part of a director board that has more than 10% of the shareholders, so please read carefully and select which fits to you. Regarding this question, this is an important one because you have to select which of them do you prefer. So for example, if you have $1,000 that is in the account but is not invested, you are telling TD Ameritrade to put that money in two different places. If you select the second one, you are selecting that the money is going to keep safe in your TD Ameritrade account. You are going to be protected by this organization that gives you an insurance of $250,000 in cash. And if you select the first one, you are going to be protected by the FDIC, so you're going to be protected up to $500,000 as a deposit, and your money is going to be safe in different banks, so you're not going to be afraid. I was reading and doing some research about this type of, the difference between this type of regulation and this one, and you should prefer to select the first one because you have more protection in case that TD Ameritrade fails. And also your money is not going to be storage in your account, it's also going to be storage in different banks around the US. TD Ameritrade has a different agreement with two different banks. These are the type of interest rates that gives to you if you have money in the account. So as I said before, it's nearly zero, so you're not going to earn almost nothing, but in the future, if these interest rates going up, you are going to make some money if you have money that is not invested in the account. So this is the more in detail about the different type of alternatives that you can select the money. And if you select the first one, you are protected by the FDIC insurance deposit account. So the money is going to be storage in the TD Bank and the TD Bank USA. So you're going to be safe about that. And in case that even TD Ameritrade or one of these broker fails, you're going to be protected by this type of insurance. So you can read this carefully. If you have, for example, more than $250,000, you can be protected because you can have half of it in the TD Bank and half of it in TD Bank USA, so you can be protected up to $500,000. If you need some cash, you can make a withdrawal at any time, and that money is going to flow to the TD Ameritrade or directly to your bank account in whatever country you are looking at this video. Going back, these are the things that I talked about before: savings and then investments, and no one knows. This is most of the people is going to select that, and this you can select whichever you want. In my opinion, this is a better type of protection. And then you can click in continue to review. After that, you are going to look at the review page, so you have to control that everything is okay, and then click in OK. So after that, you are going to go to this slide, and you have to click in these two boxes and then click in the continue box. After that, you are going to finish all the process, but that is not finishing yet, so you have to send all this information by mail to this address. But if you are looking this video from overseas, that makes a bit of trouble, so you can do that by email. So you can download the application that you already complete, and then you have to sign on the bottom. So this is the application, so you have to print it, sign, and put the date that you are signing, and then you have to send by email all this information. So what you have to send to the TD Ameritrade to end the application. You can use this email, so you can write an email saying open new account, and then you have to put in the attachment a copy of your passport, the W8 BAN form. If you need or you want another video explaining how to complete the W8 BAN form, maybe you can make the video a comment, and then we are going to do a next video in the future. What is this form about? This form is regarding to explaining to the IRS, that is like the tax part of the US, that you are not a US citizen, so you have to complete this information in order not to pay taxes in the US, because you are going to pay taxes after in your country. So if you need a tutorial how to complete this form, please leave a comment, and then I'm going to do it in the future. Maybe you are asking how I can send the money from my country to the TD Ameritrade. You can use TransferWise. You can use the link that I leave you in the description. You will get the free transfer by free, and I will going to do another tutorial in the future explaining that platform, because it's really useful, TransferWise. After that, maybe I forget talking about this. You have to take that in mind, that if you have an account that has less than $25,000, you are going to be below the pattern day trade or the PDT rule. So this PDT rule is important because it's a rule that all the brokers in the US have to cope with, because if you are a small trader, you are not allowed to do more than 4 trades in 5 days times. So your account is going to be blocked, so take that into account if you don't have a $25,000 account. And what else? Pricing. Maybe you are asking how much I have to pay to use TD Ameritrade. The good news is you don't have to pay any commissions if you trade stock in the US. For most of the type of assets that you can trade in this account, you are not going to pay any commissions. You can read this in detail, how much you have to pay for trading with ETF, for mutual funds, options, fixed incomes, and all that. You can look at that in detail, that I leave you the link in the description. So to end with, we're going to, which are the attachments that you have to put in the email in order to end the application. So it's a copy of your passport, the form completed, this is the W8 BAN, a bank statement, this is a statement from your bank in your country, and your name should be clear, and the address should be the same that you declare in the TD Ameritrade application. And this bank statement should be no more old than 3 months. So the last one is the application that you already download just before. If you click here in the download the application, you're going to download that application, you're going to sign that application, you put the date, and that is the one that you have to attach to the email. So you have to write an email, put open new account, send the email to this address, and attach all this. So then you have to wait. Here is the email that this is going to take up to 2 to 4 business days. So but you have to be aware that nowadays the demand increase a lot, so maybe that time is going to be more. So you have to be patient until you receive the confirmation by email that your account was active. This is the end for the video. You remember that you can follow us on Instagram, you can follow us in the Facebook group. It's a Facebook for all investors that wants any help in regards to share information, share analysis, and that. Also subscribe to our channel, leave a like and leave a comment if you have any question, so we start creating a community. See you.